So that was my little intro. Sounded pretty cool. I'm messing around with all this podcast stuff, so it's gonna get better through I guess experimenting and seeing what I like and all that. And I'm a nerd when it comes to all this stuff, so it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Well, today I want to talk about, this is podcast number 4, and today I want to talk about relationships and I guess how people in their minds, what they think a relationship is, or how everyone acts in today's world is just, I'm over it. I've only been single for like 2 months and I'm already over it. And I'm not looking, I'm just trying to focus. My number one focus is like working on myself and like God. So like finding God and working on myself. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm so tired of what this world has to offer. And I always like right away want to blame like everything on men, but it's both. It's women and it's men. So I feel bad for men and I feel bad for me and I feel bad for women and men. That's like the first time I've ever said that in my life, that I feel bad for a man as well, because right now I don't like men right now. But that's okay because I'm not looking for anything. But what comes my way is a lot of just, I mean, I think everyone knows what this world's really about. It's like being selfish and obviously just hooking up and all that. But with that being said, that's something that I don't want, because that's behavior is really uncalled for. So I'm sure a lot of people are not going to like to hear that, because in this world, that's pretty much what everyone does. They just hook up and they're not loyal. They don't really want anybody. They don't want to be alone or what. I don't know, whatever their dealio is. But for me, it's not what I want at all. So I guess just talking about being single in 2020 is a nightmare. There's a lot of times I just don't have hope. But right now, it's just me taking care of myself. But at the same time, I think that like I need to be aware, and everybody else should be aware too, what is out there. You know, it's like everybody is just hurting everybody. Everyone has trauma, and then they carry that trauma to the next relationship, and then that relationship is toxic, and then it's just like the cycle. So for me, now that I'm single, I am focusing on myself, and I'm focusing on God. I'm focusing on my family. So God's first, then myself, then family, and just everything that I've learned and I'm seeing and paying attention to, like even my past, which would be like I always choose the wrong person, you know, and it is a pattern that I have. That's everybody has that pattern. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, obviously what Ashley's way is not working. I'm sick and tired of this heartbreak that I keep putting myself through. And instead of throwing my hands in the air saying, why me? Why can't I find anybody? And which I did, you know, all the time. I'm looking at myself, and I'm learning why do I choose these people. So it's literally like I was just doing the same exact cycle through like every relationship. It did get better in time though. So like little did I know I was actually learning. So like right now in my life, I look back, and instead of being like, oh, my exes are pieces of shiz, like they hurt me, woe is me, this, that, and the other, and which they have, like big time. I learn, instead of being like that, I just think, you know what can I do to avoid being attracted to those kinds of people? First off, because in the beginning, there's flags. They tell you like, pay attention to the red flags. I ignore them. That's who I am. I look at somebody and I see like, I don't want to give up. That's what I think. So then therefore I devalue myself because I don't want to give up on this person, but therefore guess who I'm giving up on? And that's myself. So that's something that I learned as well. I take each relationship that I've had, because I've always been the type that I was always in a very long relationship with every one of my relationships. I wasn't really the type to like be in and out of like relationships. They were like 4 years, 3 years, 2-year relationships. And it's all, I don't want to say a waste, but a lot of emotional damage in that amount of time of being with these people. And realizing that it's not me. I mean, it is, because I'm choosing, right? But just because you're a good person, it doesn't mean that your partner is going to be a good person too. And I learned that. So for me right now, I'm tired of the games. I'm tired of this world, because right now all I'm seeing is everybody just wants to hook up. And the stuff that people post on Facebook is disgusting, because I'm going to hate a little bit. And I know we're not supposed to hate, but what gets me is like, and I'm not that type to hate. I'm not trying to hate. And I don't like to say I'm not trying to hate, but because that's literally, you're just hating. It's just, for me, it's crazy to me. I'm going to watch my words, because you got to be careful what you say. It's crazy to me that certain things are accepted in this world and like a Christian woman's not, or like someone that values themselves is not. I'm not saying that's all cases, you know. I know that there's like a lot of women out there that do value themselves and all that, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I just don't understand how like people put certain things out there, but like, let's say we post something positive and like, but it's like frowned upon. And it's just, I don't know if that makes any sense. And I'm talking about an incident, but I can't say exactly what it was. But anyway, my point being, I just think that the dating scene is really scary. I'm scared of it, because everyone just is selfish, and it's all about them. It's all about sex. It's all about this. It's all about that. And it's not the main thing is like, we need to be building each other up. When you have a partner, you're supposed to be building them up, not tearing them down or destroying them even more. Especially, and this is for men and women. Women go through this. Men go through this. I think both of us go through trauma in relationships at some point. And when you get into a new relationship, instead of reliving trauma or going through trauma again, we need to be kind to each other and build each other up. Like, this world is just so insane to me, because for me, what I witness, and I'm not saying all men are like this at all. You know, I know that there's good people out there. That's why I have hope. And I'm not over here like about to join a man haters club, because I literally thought about that today, and I was like, don't do that. I was literally thought about a group for a second. A man haters club. But we're awful to each other. You know, men, not all men, some men, maybe I should call those boys, don't respect women. And it's just like, women don't respect men, which would be girls don't respect men. And it's just altogether just not exciting to date out there. That's for sure. I mean, I guess it's easier for people that just want to like mess around, I guess, and kind of play games. But there's people out there that are really serious, and they want to like get married and adults. That's what you do. But a lot of people don't want that, or they think they do. They get into it, and then they're like, oh, reality check. This is actually not what I want. And then it's just a mess. Just a mess. So that's my rant on the relationship status situation. It's just really not, and it's not fun. And I haven't dated, you know, so I don't really know what the dating life is out there, and I don't really want to know, just because what I see like on social media. For sure. And like, of course, talking to like my girlfriends, and like they tell me like their incidents with guys, and it's so rough to be a woman. And I'm sure it's rough to be a man in today's age as well, but I'm speaking from experience because I am a woman. It's just the stuff I get asked, or it's just, I can't even say because it's so bad. I can't even say this on this podcast because it's so gross. So you can probably understand or think, whoa, that's what she's thinking about. It is, because that's what we get. There's no respect. Not saying all men are like that, once again, but there's a majority of the men here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It feels like it's because we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but there's a lot of disrespect that women get from men on the internet. And some of it is sexual harassment, and I don't understand how men can get away with that crap and not even think. Like, they get mad at you for like putting them straight, but it's like, you just sexually harassed me. What kind of reaction do you want? Because if it was my real reaction, I'm going to stop right there. Anyway, just saying, this is, it's crazy out there. But I keep hanging on to God. That's the only thing that gives me hope. I think I wanted to read something from the book that I've been reading. Give me 1 minute. I had to pause for a sec. Sorry if that was like a big pause, but this is something that I had wanted to talk about. Like, this today's world and like dating and all of that is like, what we deal with in today's life is just like, everyone is selfish. Everyone is selfish. It's all about them damn selves, and that's why we live in the world that we live in. If you were to put someone before yourself, whoa, have we ever tried that before? Maybe things would be better. Thinking about others and other people's feelings, that's something that we lack. I'll admit, I'm sure there's been times where I put myself first. Everyone is selfish, but the thing is to be aware of it and to change it. So people that are always, saying, oh, why do I keep dating or why are my relationships failing? Why do I keep picking the same person? Why? Take a look at why you choose the men that you choose. Mine stems from a lot of stuff. And that's stuff that I will talk about one day, and it will be a long story. But what I'm doing now is I'm getting to the root of my problem, because I'm at the age where I'm ready to settle down, get married, all of that stuff. But how am I supposed to be a wife if I don't even take care of like my selfish ways, and I want to be healthy and all that for when I'm ready to settle down. And I just think that that's what we all need to look at, is ourselves, work on not being selfish and thinking of others. And if you don't want to be in a relationship and you do want to go play around and play games, go for it, but don't try to get in a relationship with somebody that is serious. I guess there's that too. So the ones that do want to play games, go ahead, play those games. But at the same time, let's be a little more respectful and not just be like, hey, nice to meet you, let's hook up. Like, that's rude and disrespectful on so many levels. I do want at some point to have another person talk about this with me, just so I'm not ranting about